Am I the asshole for letting my son go to Disneyland? I have a 6-year-old son, Jake, and we're currently staying with my brother, his wife and their daughter, Abby 17. Abby recently went through something really hard and traumatic. I feel for her with all my heart and am doing all I can to be there for her. During this time, Abby's become really close to Jake. It was sweet enough at first, and even though Jake isn't one to sit in one place for long, he didn't say anything and allows his cousin to cuddle and spend time with him. He does a lot for her and will wake her up when she takes naps for too long. We'll go out to the park with her to make sure she doesn't stay at home too long, etc. My Sil was extremely appreciative of this, and Abby seems to be happier when he's around. Of course, Abby is in therapy, so I didn't think she was dependent on my son to get her through the day. But a couple weeks ago, Jake's paternal grandparents wanted to take him to Disneyland for a couple days and he was so excited. He kept telling everyone how much fun he was going to have and more. Abby didn't say much whenever he'd mentioned Disneyland, but my Sil asked me if he was actually going multiple times. I said yes. Why would I stop my son from going to Disneyland? She asked if his grandparents could take him on this trip another time, but I told her that wouldn't be possible. She was upset but stopped. The other day, his grandparents came to pick him up and he was sitting with Abby getting ready to go when she suddenly broke down crying. Jake got scared and started crying as well, so I separated them. They calmed down and Jake left for Disneyland some time later. My Sil was furious. She came up to me and was like, "So you really let him go?" I said yes. Again, why wouldn't I? She was all like, "You saw how my daughter reacted to him leaving and you're still confused?" Apparently, Abby really didn't want him to go and she cried because he was leaving. I told her that this was extremely unfair for her to say. My Sil said that I was being unfair and that Disneyland is not more important than her daughter's well-being. I never said this, but I told her that my son isn't her emotional support dog, and while I'm very sorry about Abby, it isn't fair to put my 6-year-old son's life on pause. He's 6. It's unfair for her to force my son to give up things for the comfort of his cousin. Sil called me heartless and said she wants me gone from the house before Jake gets back because she isn't putting Abby through this again. My brother intervened and told her that she's acting irrationally, but she told him to stfu. It's been really tense, and while I did attempt to apologize, Sil told me that the only apology she'd accept is one from Jake, but I'm not going to make him apologize, so am I the asshole? I really don't think so, but Abby is genuinely upset about Jake leaving. Edit. I was repeating my SIL's words word for word but giving her the benefit of the doubt. I believe she meant that the only apology she'd accept is one in the form of Jake. Not that it makes it any better, but I don't think she actually wants him to say I'm sorry. But I could be wrong as well. Either way, I wasn't going to apologize the way she wants me to. Not the asshole. Your son is entitled to special experiences and special memories with his grandparents. There's no way his childhood should be put on pause for the sake of his cousin. Lol, your Sil is the one who needs therapy and treatment. She has too many issues. Not the asshole, GTFO, ASAP. Hell no, not the asshole. Why don't they give her a cat or a dog? If all she needs is emotional support, he is a child, not a damn dog. Your Sil is the asshole in this for thinking your 6-year-old can't put his childhood on hold for his cousin to be there for her emotionally, and the fact she's demanding an apology from him. The level of audacity she has. Not the asshole. Sil is crazy. She does know that Jake isn't gonna live there, right? He's not there forever. He's allowed to leave. I can't believe she expects Jake to participate in any kind of apology. Sil should be focused on helping Abby understand that everything is okay, comforting her instead of attacking you. Just sounds really insane to me. Am I the asshole for telling my mom I will leave early from our visit if my brother comes? Hello. So backstory. My 31 female, older brother, 36 male, has struggled to establish relationships for most of his life. He lacks the ability to control things that he says, which has driven a wedge between him and many people in his life: friends, coworkers, family. However, family has been the only constant in his life because, well, family. My mom has taken the brood of his rude commentary for as long as I can remember. There have been many instances where he has verbally abused her, saying things like the reason he is the way he is because she was a checked-out mother. He pretends we lived a life of poverty with a mother who cared more about men than us. We weren't rich by any means, but we had everything we needed. Food, a clean home, nice things. Our mom worked hard as an RN. She had long hours and did date a lot, but I never felt she chose a guy over us. Our dad and her divorced when we were young and she moved us across the country so that she would have the support of her family, so we didn't see our dad much, but he was not ready to be a father, so our mom basically took on the role of mom and dad the best she could. My brother has convinced himself that we were poor, neglected children who never saw their mother, and he likes to remind our mom of this frequently. Since adulthood, my brother and I have both had one child. We each have a daughter. My brother has made multiple rude comments to my daughter. She has very curly hair and he has made comments about her being a clown. The day after her 3rd birthday we went to zoo with his family and my daughter ran up to him and said, "It's my birthday." As any excited 3-year-old would, he responded by saying, "Yesterday was your birthday. Not everything is about you." He also is constantly trying to compete our children against each other, saying one or the other is their grandparents' favorite. It's exhausting, but I have ignored most of it because that's just my brother. I have distanced myself slowly, but for the sake of saving the drama, I don't say much. I have mentioned to my mom that his comments about my daughter hurt my feelings and also upset her father. My mom agrees that it's awful and has talked to my brother, but she continues to make excuses for him. She is convinced he is on the spectrum or has ADHD. She also feels that because our dad wasn't involved, he feels neglected and doesn't have any self-confidence. During a visit, he made a snide comment about my significant other faking his gluten intolerance. It kind of felt like the final straw for me, and I told my mom that if my brother is at her house when we visit this summer, I will leave. My mom is upset because she thinks deep down my brother loves us and he is struggling with mental health issues. She also told me that she will never give up on him. I told her that I didn't expect her to, but I didn't want to be surrounded by his negative energy anymore. Am I the asshole for putting my mom as the position of having to tell my brother he can't visit while my family is? Not the asshole. He's allowed to get away with it, so he continues. Stay away from him and don't listen to any excuses that are made up for him. My mom is upset. She'll get upset at you but won't do anything about him. FYI, unless I missed something, being on the spectrum and/or having ADHD doesn't make you in a hole. My biggest guess is brother is angry that mom and dad divorced. Mom chose to move and took the kids away from dad. Then she had the gall to seek relationships with men, not dad. He's got anger issues, and because no one has called him out nor stood up to him, he's continuing the behavior. You're not the asshole in this instance, but you need to stop letting your brother be in a hole and keep enforcing this boundary. Not the asshole. But you're an adult, you can tell your brother yourself why you won't be seeing him anymore. Not the asshole, your brother is the missing step. Google it. NTA. Good on you for setting boundaries. Am I the asshole for calling out my girlfriend's dad on her special day? My 24M girlfriend, Mia, 25F, and I have been dating for 6 years. I have gotten along with her family really well. I am white and she comes from a traditional patriarchal, Latin family with a very strict dad. They have always been very welcoming and I've returned the same energy. However, she had an extremely difficult upbringing, primarily due to her father's verbal and emotional abuse. Mia has told me stories about her childhood and more recent incidents. It's clear this relationship impacts her mental health. While I have gotten frustrated with the way he treats her, I have supported her in the aftermath and never gotten directly involved. A few weeks ago, Mia was graduating from her master's program. The plan was for her, both her parents, and I to take one car to the ceremony together. She had other family, friends attending, and we were attempting to limit the number of cars going to campus as she attended a large university. We left expecting to get there with 1.5 hours to spare to get to the ceremony and find seating. Her dad was driving and I was in the passenger seat, with her and her mom in the back. As we got closer to the school, things got stressful and became a perfect storm. Heavy traffic. All of the parking lots that were supposed to be open and free for graduation guests were closed. No available street parking, construction, multiple ceremonies unscheduled on the same day. Her father's temper escalated as we searched for parking and he began to berate my girlfriend. He raised his voice, called her stupid, and blamed her constantly. Mia was having a panic attack. We finally found parking but had to walk approximately 1 mile to get to the ceremony. He injured his knee last year, and we all understood that the walk could be uncomfortable. He kept berating her on the same points and even brought up leaving without going to the ceremony, stating it was ridiculous he would have to walk. Mia expressed that she was following the directions the school provided and she had not been warned that all the ceremonies would be scheduled close together. I had finally had enough after years of hearing about his behavior, and be the one to pick up the pieces of his daughter. In a calm, but firm tone, told him he needed to apologize to her and mean it. That this day was for her and that he needed to stop making it about him. That he could be angry with me for today, tomorrow, or the rest of our lives but that he would not be mad at her. I had never spoken to him this way. Her mom got involved and asked me to calm down. Her father responded that I was out of line and to never speak to him that way again. After finding out about this, Mia continued to get more upset and wasn't able to enjoy an incredibly big day for herself. I have seen how hard she has worked to get her degree and the effort she has put in as a first-generation student. I've seen the damage he's done to his family and I couldn't hold it in any longer. Am I the asshole? Info. You've clearly talked to your girlfriend about her dad's behavior and how he treats her, but did you two discuss how she wanted you to interact with him when he's behaving that way? Has she told you she wants you to intervene, and what that looks like? Info. Did it work? Not the asshole, but she needs to get therapy and go no contact. It's not a fight you can win for her, sadly. Not the asshole. I don't advocate violence normally, but somebody should knock her dad the fuck out. Not the asshole. Does your girlfriend really want these people in her life? I hope she goes to therapy.